Buckle your seatbelt, dig it? Because this ain't your grandma's scrapbook. This is WWF Spotlight Volume 1, and the only man worthy of christening this series is the madness himself. Macho Man, Randy Savage. The man, the myth, the sleeveless cyclone in rhinestones and rage. If wrestling were a comic book, he'd be the villain, the hero, and the narrator, all at once. And this magazine doesn't just tell his story. It launches it off the page like a top-rope elbow drop aimed straight at your nostalgia. From the very first shot of Savage, jaw clenched, eyes flaring, you know you're entering his world. And in his world, everything is louder, faster, and more intense. The magazine opens with a manifesto. Savage is not just another wrestler. He is a revolution in sunglasses and spandex. A man who eats ambition for breakfast and washes it down with a Slim Jim of destiny. From his early days prowling the fringes of the WWF to becoming a household name, this issue captures the ignition point of a legend. This is Macho before he was crowned king. Macho when he still had something to prove and was willing to prove it with pain. We get a deep dive into the psychology of the madness, how Randy Savage's temper and mind games made him both dangerous and magnetic. He was unhinged, yes, but in a way that demanded your attention. Every feud becomes personal. Every match becomes war, and every promo, Shakespeare with a caffeine overdose. He wasn't content just to be great. He wanted to make greatness look weird, wild, and unquestionably his. This wasn't about fitting in. It was about bending the world until it matched his madness. There's the classic tension with Danny Davis, painted like a battle of chaos versus order. A deep exploration of Savage's early rivalries shows how he didn't need a belt to be important. He was the storyline. The magazine's writers clearly understand what fans already knew. Macho didn't just wrestle matches. He orchestrated events. The way he moved, the way he talked, even the way he stood still. Everything was part of the madness. It wasn't a gimmick. It was gospel. It was Savage creating a tornado and standing dead center in its eye. And then there's the entrance theme. Pomp and Circumstance, a song borrowed from graduation ceremonies and transformed into a trumpet-blaring threat. Savage didn't just enter the ring. He descended upon it, cloaked in pageantry, announcing that the man about to fight wasn't just ready, he was royal. Every step down that aisle was a parade, every robe was stitched with menace, and every glare was a promise of violence. Midway through, we get the iconic Savage versus DiBiase storyline, where money meets madness and egos erupt. The battle isn't just for gold, it's for meaning. DiBiase represents control, greed, and calculation. Savage is chaos, fury, and pride. They're fire and oil, and this magazine makes sure you feel the heat. The layout explodes with in-ring shots, stare-downs, and enough promo quotes to fill 1,000 arenas. This was more than a feud, it was a collision of philosophies, and Macho came out screaming. We also catch glimpses of Miss Elizabeth, not front and center, but always there, the emotional undertow of Savage's storm. She was elegance in a sea of violence, grace under pressure, a silent queen amid the madness. Her presence in this issue reminds us that even the wildest hurricane has an eye, and her quiet strength was always the calm in Savage's chaos. There's a profile on how Savage could stir a crowd just by showing up. The magazine delves into the influence of his promos, the voice, the growl, the sudden silences. His mic work wasn't just part of the show, it was the show. Like watching a Shakespearean villain find religion in the middle of a psychotic break. You don't just listen to Savage, you feel him. Every syllable was laced with passion. Every rant dipped in adrenaline. And just when you thought he was done, he'd launch into another verbal moonsault that left audiences roaring. It becomes clear through the pages that Savage was not made for half measures. He didn't whisper, he didn't walk, he stormed. And even his stillness was louder than most men's screams. There's a segment on his influence backstage, how even locker rooms changed when he arrived. The way he trained, the way he protected his image, the way he lived the gimmick. He wasn't a character, he was a force of nature that promoters learned to ride like a lightning bolt. The final pages pay tribute to the man who made madness feel like a mission. They highlight his influence, his aura, and the wildfire he left behind. There are subscription ads, promo plugs, and token merchandise pushes, but none of it dulls the thunder. Because by the time you turn the last page, you're not just a fan, you're a believer. a convert to the gospel of the madness. WWF Spotlight Volume 1, Macho Man. Randy Savage is not just a tribute. It's a love letter written in turnbuckle bruises and glitter glue. It's a thunderclap frozen in time, a monument to intensity, a chronicle of charisma, a battle cry etched in magazine stock. It's what happens when a man decides to scream his name into the sky until the heavens scream it back. From the pages of this magazine, the madness lives on.